You know, what's really interesting about being in politics, progressive media for 21 years now is that I have seen the Democratic Party basically stay the same, right? Like, there's been hardly any. I mean, there's been a few little subtle changes with the Democratic Party here and there along those 21 years. But for the most part, it's the same today that it was back in 2004 when I got into progressive media. On the other hand, the Republican Party has gone through so many different evolutions. It's like a Pokemon at this point. Every couple of years, it changes into a new thing that is almost indistinguishable or unrecognizable, I should say, actually, from what it just was. And that brings me to another viewer question. This one from Instagram, from user I am Alan Hay Liger, who says, do you believe we will see the Republican Party go back to the old days of Romney, Bush, and McCain, or will they stick with the MAGA populism that is so prevalent now? The days of McCain, Romney, and Bush are over. Thankfully, they are over. One of the things, and I'm not saying you meant your question this way, so please don't take it as me accusing you of this, but we do see it from Democrats, is we see a lot of those Democrats like, man, I wish the Republican Party would go back to what it was. Like, oh, you mean killing millions of people in a war based on lies for oil? Like, that's not an improvement over what we have today. That, in some respects, is worse. And let's be clear, even before, the Bush administration and all the Iraq lies and, the so-called war on terrorism, expanding spying on American citizens, the hatred this entire country felt toward anyone from an Arab nation, the discrimination and hatred those people faced, that was a recent evolution of the Republican Party after the 9/11 attacks. Prior to that, they were just crazy and extreme in the 90s. I mean, the Contract for America, impeaching Bill Clinton because he lied under oath because they couldn't get him on any of the dozen other things they investigated him for, so they tried to get him on the lying. So they were extreme then, horrible then, slashing government programs, wanting to, get rid of all of the good things about this country that helped working class people. And then the Tea Party came in the Obama years. That was the next evolution. So we went from crazy in the 90s to just flat out lying warmongers in the 2000s. Then in the 2010s, we had the Tea Party come along and say, we're taxed enough already. That's what T stood for. They were basically just calling for tax cuts, which is funny because the Bush era tax cuts were not immediately repealed by Obama. They were still in place when the Tea Party said, we're paying too much in taxes. Nope, you were paying the same amount you were paying when the Republican was in office. They just didn't like the fact that it was a black guy. The Tea Party was built on racism. And then that racism gave way to Donald Trump. When he descended that golden escalator telling us about how immigrants are coming over and they're killing and raping all of you. Every one of you has been killed by an immigrant in this room. Then it got into the xenophobia, so it morphed it again. Now, this new version of Trump is not just the xenophobia, but the fake populism, right? Oh, we care about the workers. That's why we're cutting the taxes for your bosses. Yeah, nobody's really buying into it. They bought into it in the election season, but everybody in 5 months has already seen through it, and they're like, wait a minute, you're just a cheap liar. So will we go back to the days of McCain and Romney and the warmongers? No, absolutely not. Will the party stick to the faux populism? Absolutely not. They will become something far worse than what we are seeing today, because that is how the Republican Party continues to evolve. They just get worse and worse every 7 to 10 years. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.